All right, Big 12 today, all conference teams. Today we're going to hit on quarterbacks and running backs. We've got first team, second team, and third team. We don't honorable mention. Not everybody gets a participation trophy.
That's right, James.
All right, first, second, and third team. Why don't you kick us off here? We can start with quarterbacks. You want to go third team to first team or first to third? You tell me.
Well, third to first.
Okay.
What are you,
okay.
crazy? All right, so
It's a very reasonable question.
my third team quarterback is Bear Bachmeier, the true freshman quarterback for BYU, who put up 3,200 yards of total offense, 25 total touchdowns, 14 pass, 11 rush. He only threw 6 interceptions as a true freshman. You could argue, obviously, from a quarterback perspective, BYU didn't ask him to do a ton in terms of throwing the football, but when you think about a true freshman and teams are zeroed in on stopping him and his running ability, they still couldn't stop it. His 76.7 QBR is third in the conference behind only Devin Dampier and Brendan Sorsby. Yeah, I mean, he was at 97 total points from a quarterback perspective in terms of his rushing and throwing ability. Third team for me would be Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback for BYU.
Like it. I like it. Don't know if I love it, but I like it. My third team Big 12 quarterback, and I was on the fence between two guys, is Connor Wegman at Houston. And I know you're going to love this pick. And let me tell you why before you just annihilate me.
Well, why not go with the better running quarterback who had the more wins? Sorry, go ahead.
Listen, Houston went 9-3. Okay, they went 6-0 on the road. You have to have a dude in this conference to win on the road, and they went 6-0 in Big 12 games only. Sorry, I'm not going to include all the stats that these guys pile up against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but Connor Wegman in league games was top 3 in the Big 12 in passing efficiency. He was top 4 in the league in completion rate.
What's completion rate?
Completion percentage.
Got it.
He was the third leading rusher in the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns among any players, running backs, quarterbacks. He was by far, on paper, the best rushing quarterback in this conference, even better than Devin Dampier. On paper. His yards per game, he had almost 700 yards on the ground. He didn't throw the football. He didn't have as many attempts as some of the other guys in the league. But I think to go on the road and go 6-0, have 11 rushing touchdowns on the season, 21 passing touchdowns, to lead Houston to a 9-3 season. And NFL scouts actually really love his arm strength, his lower body strength. He's got a 6'3 profile, a quick release. He could be a pro. Connor Wegman is my third-team quarterback.
I don't know why you're being so sensitive about it.
I'm very sensitive about it. The opening segment, all you're talking about is Connor Wegman and how overrated he is.
Well,
and I've got him as my third team All Big 12 quarterback.
All I simply said is the number one prospect
you hate
in
him?
college football.
Said he was the worst quarterback of all time, the most overrated quarterback you've ever laid your eyes on.
All right, should we move on to second team?
Yeah, second team.
Also, last thing I'll say of this is, there's another quarterback who's a dual threat guy who had more yardage total, more touchdowns, and had a better record. But, why put him on this list, Go with the guy with less stats and less wins. Number 2 for me is Brendan Sorsby.
He had all league wide receivers that he's throwing the football to. Connor Wegman had a tight end and a guy named Amari Thomas, who's a UAB transfer.
Stud. Big time season.
Right, who's your second teamer?
You should have thrown it more then. Brendan Sorsby for me, number 2. Now look, similar to last year, this team lost a bunch of games down the stretch of the season, but 27 touchdowns, the 5 interceptions, a 62% completion percentage, 155 passer rating. Number 2 in the Big 12 in QBR at 81.4. I think in terms of efficiency, in terms of dual threat ability, that Sorsby was it. And obviously, again, he had some big-time games earlier in the season and did not have as many later. And we'll see if he stays at Cincinnati, because he's going to get a lot of offers, as we know, to go elsewhere for a lot of money. And the former Indiana quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, number 2 on my list.
Major uptick year 2 in that system for Scott Satterfield this year. My second team All Big 12 quarterback is Utah's Devin Dampier. 12 touchdowns and 12 picks last year at New Mexico. His first season at Utah, 22 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Also had almost 700 yards on the ground. had 7 rushing touchdowns. He was named the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year. The official release had him as third team All Big 12, but just his dual threat ability, he's also a gamer. Like, he had some of his biggest games when Utah needed it most. He willed Utah to victory against Kansas State late in the season. I think he's underrated as a passer. I know that his offensive coordinator from New Mexico came with him, but that's still an entirely new team around him that he has to get adjusted to. I thought he was fantastic. I've got Devin Dampier as my second team All Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah, and this Dampier, for me, it came down to Dampier and Bachmeier for my third team. So I like that pick a lot. Certainly a guy that should get recognized. Had a really good season. I believe he was third team for the Big 12.
He was, officially.
With Sorsby at 1 and Fafita at 2, or the other way around? I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, should we move on to first team?
Yeah, who's your first team?
That'd be Noah Fafita. Fafita, 2,900 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. He had, a 71.3 top half of the league QBR, 148.5 passer rating, and consistently graded out. He was one of the top quarterbacks that PFF graded in terms of accuracy. And then, I go to, of these teams we're talking about here, who was like matching, best performer with best outcome. Granted, BYU had a better outcome of the season this year than Arizona, but I think overall, Fafita was the better, more well-rounded quarterback that Bachmeier was. So in weighing Sorsby with Fafita, I'm looking at team over individuals. And look, you could Sawyer Robertson, Josh Hoover, 2 guys that put up big-time numbers for this league that are not going to be recognized on either of our lists. So I think team success has a lot to do with this too, with taking nothing away from Sawyer Robertson because he had a big-time year and couldn't help the fact that the rest of the team was not good around him. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Fafita was, on a really good team that had, good offensive line play, blocked well for their running game, and then a opportunistic defense, which Baylor and TCU did not have.
Yeah, the thing that shied me away from Sawyer Robertson and Josh Hoover, even with all the yards, when you look at their league games only, both of those guys had double-digit interceptions. They had too many picks. Like Josh Hoover had 11, Sawyer Robertson had 10, and I also have Noah Fafita as my first team All Big 12 quarterback, which he was officially from the conference, the first team guy. He's also
Sorsby was 2?
Sorsby was 2.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay. They got it right.
He's also the Polynesian Player of the Year. He is a finalist for that award. But, 26 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, low interception rate, incredibly accurate. His decision-making was sky high, and he became Arizona's first-team all-conference quarterback since 1975. Noah Fafita, our first-team quarterback.
A very interesting list, and again, to kind of wrap a bow around the quarterback position in 2025, we headed into the season thinking this was the year of the quarterback of the Big 12. We thought this could be a big year for Sam Levin and for Sawyer Robertson, maybe even for Josh Hoover. The season kind of started out that way, and what we ended up seeing, like, I would say if you had showed me this list and said when we get to the end of the year this is going to be our lists, I'd be like, whoa, what happened?
Same.
Like, what? How? Huh? What? And I think there are some positions as we go through every position that are going to be much more difficult than others. Mm-hmm. And not to say the quarterback wasn't difficult, but there just wasn't any, like I guess Fafita was the standout guy, but still, it's arguable, right? You could have made the case that Sawyer Robertson should be first team All Big 12 quarterback. Sawyer Robertson couldn't help the fact that he had to throw all the time, that they had no running ability, and that they couldn't play defense.
Yeah.
So some of the high numbers and interceptions are attributable to that. And for Fafita, he benefits greatly from the running game and the defense they had, which just goes to show again that, you're only as good as the team around you, as football is the ultimate cohesion sport, it's the ultimate team sport. But it's just an interesting commentary on the quarterback position and what we thought it would be going into the season and how it's ended up. The Big 12 is not going to have any NFL quarterbacks coming out in the NFL draft this year. We thought heading into the season we could have, 2 first-round picks potentially, and as it ends, who knows where Sawyer Robertson ends up getting drafted, and I think some team may end up getting a steal with a guy that, did not have a great last year but has a ton of potential. And then obviously we'll see what Sam Levitt does. But yeah, it was just a weird year. We thought going in it was the year of the quarterback. It ended up being a year of the running back. The best teams in the Big 12 were the best running teams in the Big 12. And that may not change.
Very much so. Very much so. Complimentary football. All right, we've got Josh Furlong standing by, sports director of KSL and beat writer for Utah Athletics. He's coming up next. That's Ari. I'm James. This is Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio.